Hello Sagittarius and welcome to your June 2026 monthly horoscope. My name is Justina. Welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Alright, so today we are going to look at the events happening in June, and I'll tell you how the events, some of the important events of June will influence your ascendant sign on a deeper level. So these horoscopes are most accurate for your ascendant sign. However, you can also watch them for your moon sign or your sun sign if you wish, just to get a bigger picture and a wider perspective upon your life. So here, welcome. I follow Western astrology, tropical zodiac as well. All right, so we start under the influence of a really interesting energy because on the 9th of June, Venus and Jupiter conjoin at 25 degrees of Cancer. So here, Jupiter's transit in Cancer is coming to an end in June, and we are going to see Jupiter moving into Leo at the end of June. But here on the 9th, the great benefic, your chart ruler, is going to begin a brand new cycle with the planet Venus, the planet of love, relationships, creativity, harmony, beauty, finances. So that's happening in your 8th house. Some really positive developments taking place here in the area of shared and joint resources, intimacy, transformation. With the 8th house influence, things generally, very often opportunities, financial gains, or even job opportunities, they often come through others, through third parties, for instance. So this could be a really interesting day, or perhaps a couple of days even, when you might receive some positive news or even a job offer. Or perhaps generally this energy brings a lot of optimistic vibe, especially since Jupiter is your ruler aligning with Venus. There is harmony and beauty in the air. But also here, the 8th house deals with investments. It deals with bonuses. So this could be connected to some financial gains that come through any bonuses, any schemes, government schemes, any insurance payouts, for example, that you have been awaiting for instance, investments returns as well. So this will, of course, depend on your circumstances. But whatever the scenario here, there is this easy flow of energy and ease overall in the air, in the sign of Cancer as well, where Jupiter feels really comfortable. Venus feels very well nurtured as well. So really beautiful day to keep in your diary, 25th degree of Cancer. Now, this energy could also indicate some positive news that come through your partner. Maybe they are going through some positive developments that influence your relationship in the really harmonious way. So here, this is a beautiful energy here on the 9th. Very expansive energy, because it could also bring some expansive opportunities in the financial sector for you. Now, on the 15th, there is a new moon happening in the sign of Gemini, so the sign opposing your Sagittarius house. So that's the 7th house energy. And with here the new moon. So new moons are usually connected to something new, a new chapter, a new direction. Of course, the moon is dark at the time, so we don't yet have full clarity of what we might expect or how this idea, project, whatever it is, might turn out. But this is a good time for planting seeds, for setting intentions. Gemini is a sign of duality and earth sign. So this also indicates that you might be in two minds. This energy can also indicate that, scattered energy. So for this reason, it's essential to stay grounded in the reality. Focus on one thing at the time, if possible. But here, this new moon could be connected to some kind of, first of all, a new collaboration, a partnership, a new client, for example, a dental plan, a contract with your landlord, for example, or with your tenant. It's connected to one-to-one dynamics. It doesn't have to be your relationship. It can be, but it could be also a contract you have with another person, a collaboration, for example. And this is also the area of contracts and agreements we have with other people, one-to-one connections, one-to-one dynamics. So whether that's a new project you will be embarking on with another person, or perhaps whether this is some kind of mutual plan you have with your partner, or maybe a new relationship phase, chapter you're entering, this is, of course, going to depend on your life story. But of course, you got Uranus here as well. So Uranus brings those very different shifts and vibes, and it will remain here for the next 7 years. So this also changes your approach to love, to connection. But this also, of course, indicates that these one-to-one connections will be undergoing a certain degree of shift. Of course, Uranus doesn't like stagnation, monotony, and it's about freedom as well. All right, so even though, yes, freedom with the freedom and the need to kind of for independence, a greater independence within these one-to-one connections, relationships. All right, so then as we move forward, Chiron is moving into Taurus on the 19th of June, where it will remain until September the 18th. So here we haven't had Chiron changing signs for quite some time, since 2018. And now Chiron is moving into Taurus, just to temporarily give us a little taste, preview, flavor of what it can bring into our lives from next year and onwards. So definitely pay attention to what comes up, what shows up. That's your 6th house. If your natal Chiron is in Taurus, then you will be going through your Chiron return as well. So extremely healing phase in life, over life, around the age of 49 to 51. But here with Chiron, so first of all, Taurus is a fixed earth sign. And Chiron in Taurus will be moving very, very slowly. Because of the nature or the symbolism of what Taurus stands for. Now, with Taurus, the wounds that may come up during this time, for this reason, it's really essential to pay attention to what comes up and what shows up during this transit here, this short preview this year, because this can also give you a certain degree of an understanding of what you might expect to see to take place in the upcoming cycle of Chiron in Taurus. But this is connected to self-improvement, of course, 6th house. This is connected to your health, to your body, to your physical well-being as well, to your routine, to your lifestyle. So during this time, any wounds or unhealed emotions from the past connected to the times when you neglected your body, when you neglected your diet, when perhaps you felt like you were completely disorganized or your life was one big chaos, these sort of energies, feelings could reappear, come up to the surface, giving you a chance to understand them from a different angle, giving you just a chance to process them. And it will be a slow process. It will take some time, but this is your chance to also heal them. And this could see you completely changing your approach to your health, to what you eat, to your diet, to exercising. It's a major, major phase of healing. But at the same time with Chiron could also bring up to the surface even any early life situations when you felt unwell, or perhaps when you neglected yourself overall. So this is your chance for improving your daily routine, daily reality, your health. It's a big, big cycle of self-improvement overall. So definitely pay attention to what comes up, to what shows up under the influence of this transit this year. And then as we move forward towards the end of the month, there is a series of some really dynamic events taking place. And here we've got Mars entering Gemini, first of all, and that's the 7th house, where the new moon took place on the 15th. The new moon in Gemini at 15th and 24 degrees, and now Mars is coming here on the 28th. So what does it mean? Mars is the planet of action, drive, courage, motivation. And when Mars moves into the 7th house, this is a time of generally things moving forward with any contracts, any business partnerships, any collaborations as well. This is when your relationships, any contracts, partnerships gain their momentum. Mars speeds things up overall. But at the same time, Mars here can also bring things up to the open. Things that perhaps were kind of brushed under the carpet. This is a great time for being direct, for having these open conversations as well. This could also see you more than usual client if you work in the one-to-one job or in a business that's connected to where you do one-to-one meetings, consultations. This could see you having more of these. But at the same time, Mars is the planet of conflict. Mars is the planet of war. So for this reason, this is also a time when you might find yourself perhaps having more than usual hot-heated debates, discussions, and they might not always end up well, especially if you let your emotions loose. Watch out for any confrontations during this time, because there's a greater chance or tendency to have to end up in any confrontational situations, not necessarily because it's your fault, but it's just because of the dynamic of the conversation or the communication style and so on. So choose your words wisely, because especially also something interesting is happening during the first 3 weeks of this transit. And this is Mercury. Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, will turn retrograde. And this will be on the 29th of June at 26 degrees of Cancer. So we've got a retrograde phase of Mercury in Cancer fully, and that's of course in your area of the 8th house. So this is also a time when you will have a chance to review, reassess whatever came up during the 9th of June Venus and Jupiter conjunction as well. This is a chance to review your any insurance deals, life insurance, company insurance, house insurance, all these insurance contracts you may have. A good time for reviewing your taxes, and a good time also for reviewing investments, any partnerships that you may have with other people, your intimate life. So here, generally with Mercury retrograde, this is a time to review, reassess. Anything brand new might not work out. So it's better to delay it until after Mercury turns direct. So ideally the second part of July. It's a good time for working on what you have already established. So carry on with your mortgage applications, or perhaps if for example, if you've been already dealing with some legal paperwork, documents that have already been an ongoing thing, then that's fine. But anything brand new that comes up and shows up, then that's rather better to avoid. Especially with also the contracts that we sign during Mercury retrograde, they will carry that Mercury retrograde flavor. So it's better to delay the contract signing until after the 2nd of July. And overall here, this energy will, because Mercury is the ruler of Gemini, where Mars will be staying for about 7 weeks. This is also a time, generally some situations from the past in your one-to-one connections might resurface during the first 2.5 weeks of July. And this is when some people might reappear in your life, or some clients from the past. It's a good time for also reviewing certain connections, relationships, contracts you have with other people. Review, reassess, but only commit to something new and brand new after this retrograde is over. On the same day as Mercury turns retrograde, we also have a full moon happening in Capricorn, and that's your 2nd house at 8 degrees of Capricorn. So here, full moons are connected to endings, turning points, and they show us something that perhaps we are unaware of. So they tend to illuminate things that perhaps were hidden, or perhaps misunderstood, or just unknown even. So that's your 2nd house. So there is a financial situation unfolding around the end of the month that requires your attention, that requires your focus. So this energy also makes you more aware of your spendings, of your income, of your outgoings. This could be connected to also perhaps even a side hustle or business, or generally you sitting down and just doing your calculations to make sure that you're up to date with your financial situation. But whatever the scenario, something here in your income situation, in your financial situation reaches a culmination. And this is also when this full moon could give you the much needed clarity of where is it that you stand, financially speaking. And we end the month with Jupiter entering Leo, and that's on the 30th of June. And this is a 12 months influence. Leo, this is your 9th house. So Jupiter is leaving your 8th house, moving into your 9th house, the house of travel, the house of higher learning, your life philosophy, belief system. So Jupiter is your chart ruler, of course. So wherever the chart ruler is present, this is also the area of focus. So for you, every 12 months, there is a shift taking place. And this is a shift now towards foreign travel, foreign people, life direction. And here with Jupiter staying here for 12 months, this is an opportunity for broadening your horizons, for broadening your wisdom as well. So a really beautiful energy that could see you traveling more. It could see you engaging in your studies. This is a big phase of personal growth, personal development. Now, a good transit for those who teach or guide, or for mentors. A great time for learning languages, a great time for learning astrology. Here, the ninth house is traditionally associated with Jupiter, so it's a great transit, great place to be. A time of expansion, a time of growth, without a doubt. But of course, here we can't just look at the Jupiter's transit individually, because in July, the South Node will move into this area of your life. The North Node will go into the third house of Aquarius. Then we also have an eclipse in Leo, solar eclipse in August as well. So as you can see, there is some kind of development taking place here that is helping you to move forward, that is helping you to reach your goals, to reach your milestones, to get closer to your dreams, to your purpose. And it's a very expansive energy. So a great time for learning, for expanding your horizons, and even for meeting new people, traveling. So thank you so much, Sagittarius. I wish you a productive month, and until the next time, bye for now.